Based on the series so far, Atomic Habits, Crucial Conversations, The Coaching Habit, Radical Candor, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and Leaders Eat Last, the next book is Drive by Daniel Pink. You have learned to build habits, have hard conversations, coach your people, give honest feedback, fix broken teams, and lead with genuine care. Now it is time to answer the question every leader eventually asks: what actually motivates people, and why do carrots and sticks stop working the moment the work gets interesting? Drive, the surprising truth about what motivates us. Hi, this is Rahul, and you are listening to Books I Read, where I share books that help us lead better at work, in the kitchen, in business, and at home. Today's book is Drive by Daniel Pink. It is built on decades of behavioral science research, and it challenges one of the most deeply held assumptions in management: the idea that the best way to get people to perform is to reward them when they do well and punish them when they do not. The author calls this the carrot and stick approach, and he shows, with remarkable clarity, that for most of the work that actually matters today, it not only does not work, it actively makes things worse. Why this book works in India? In India, we are very familiar with the carrot and stick model of motivation: bonus if you hit the target, warning letter if you miss it, increment for the ones who comply, no increment for the ones who question. This is how most Indian workplaces, from family businesses to large hospitality chains to corporate setups, have been managed for decades. And it works up to a point for simple, repetitive, rule-based tasks, external rewards and consequences do drive short-term compliance. If you want someone to clean 50 covers in 30 minutes, a clear consequence for not doing it will probably get it done. But the moment the work requires creativity, problem-solving, genuine initiative, or real ownership, the carrot and stick model collapses. And in today's food and hospitality business, where guest expectations are higher than ever, where menus need constant innovation, where team culture is a competitive advantage, almost all the work that actually matters falls into that second category. This book tells you what to use instead. The 3 motivation systems. The author begins by explaining that human motivation has evolved in 3 stages, and most organizations are still running on an older version. Motivation 1.0 was pure survival. Do what you need to do to eat, stay safe, and stay alive. This drove human behavior for most of history. Motivation 2.0 was the carrot and stick. Reward desired behavior, punish undesired behavior. This worked well during the Industrial Revolution, when most work was manual, repetitive, and easy to measure. You could see exactly what someone did and reward or punish it precisely. Motivation 3.0 is what the author says we actually need now, and what the science overwhelmingly supports. It is built on 3 elements: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. These are the 3 things that, when present together, create what the author calls intrinsic motivation. The kind that does not need an external reward, because the work itself becomes the reward. Let us go through each one in the Indian hospitality and food context. Element 1, autonomy. Autonomy means the desire to direct your own life and work. Not to be told exactly what to do every moment of every shift, but to have genuine ownership over how you achieve a goal. The author is careful here. Autonomy does not mean anarchy. It does not mean no structure, no standards, no accountability. It means that within a clear framework of expectations, people have the freedom to decide how they get there. The research on this is extraordinary. People who have autonomy over their work are more engaged, more creative, more productive, and significantly less likely to leave. And yet most kitchens and outlet operations run on the opposite principle. Every step is prescribed, every movement is monitored, every deviation is corrected. And then managers wonder why their teams show no initiative. Indian example: a cloud kitchen group has 2 head chefs managing 2 different kitchen units. In the first kitchen, the group's culinary director approves every single menu change, every new dish, every variation on a recipe. The head chef is highly skilled but has learned to just execute what is asked. He stopped suggesting ideas 2 years ago because they were always either rejected or modified beyond recognition before being approved. In the second kitchen, the culinary director set clear parameters. Guest satisfaction scores above a certain level, food cost within a defined range, core menu items are fixed. Everything else is the head chef's creative territory. That second kitchen has won 2 internal innovation awards. Its head chef has been approached by 3 competitors and has turned them all down. He has never asked for a raise because he has never felt like he needed to justify his value. Same company, same resources, same pay structure. The only difference is autonomy. How to give autonomy without losing control. The author suggests starting with task autonomy. Let people choose how they complete a task rather than prescribing every step. Then move to time autonomy. Give people some flexibility in when they do certain parts of their work. Then technique autonomy. Let people find their own best method for achieving the result, and eventually, for your strongest people, team autonomy. Let them choose who they work with and how they organize themselves. You do not have to give all of this at once. Start with one small area of genuine freedom this week and watch what happens to engagement. Element 2, mastery. Mastery is the desire to get better at things that matter, not just to complete tasks, but to genuinely improve, to develop, to feel yourself growing in skill and capability over time. The author draws on the work of psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi and his concept of flow. Flow is the state where you are so absorbed in what you are doing that time disappears. You are fully present, fully stretched, fully alive in the work. It is the state where the best work gets done. Flow happens at a very specific intersection, when the challenge of the task is slightly beyond your current skill level. Not so easy that it is boring, not so hard that it is overwhelming. Right at that edge where effort and ability meet, that is where mastery lives. The problem with most operational environments is that they never create this condition intentionally. Skilled people get put on tasks that are too easy for them and go numb from understimulation. Newer people get thrown into situations they are not ready for and go into panic mode. Neither group is in flow. Neither group is doing their best work. Indian example. A talented young pastry cook joins a well-regarded bakery operation. In her first 3 months, she is put exclusively on repetitive production tasks. Croissants, bread rolls, standard cakes. She does them perfectly. She's fast, clean, and reliable. But by month 4, she is visibly disengaged, she is physically present, and emotionally somewhere else entirely. Her manager, noticing this, has a conversation with her, asks what she would like to learn, discovers she is deeply interested in chocolate work and sugar craft. The manager has her spend 2 hours every Friday afternoon experimenting with a small budget and no pressure on outcomes. Within 8 weeks, the bakery has 3 new products on the menu that came entirely from her Friday experiments. She has not looked at another job listing since. The investment was 2 hours a week and a small supplies budget. The return was a fully re-engaged team member and 3 revenue-generating products. How to build mastery into your team's experience. Have a direct conversation with each person on your team about what skill they most want to develop in the next 6 months. Then find one concrete way to give them access to that development, whether it is pairing them with someone stronger in that area, giving them a stretch project, or simply carving out protected time for them to practice and experiment. Mastery does not happen by accident. It happens when a leader makes it possible. Element 3, purpose. Purpose is the desire to do what we do in the service of something larger than ourselves. To feel that the work matters, that it connects to something meaningful, that showing up today is about more than just the pay at the end of the month. The author says this is the most underestimated motivator in most organizations. Leaders talk about purpose in annual conferences, and then manage their teams in ways that strip every trace of meaning from the daily work. They reduce people to numbers. They talk only about targets and costs. They never connect the daily tasks to the reason any of it matters. And yet, the research is overwhelming. People who feel a strong sense of purpose in their work are healthier, more resilient, more committed, and more innovative than those who do not. Purpose is not a soft idea. It is a performance driver. Indian example. A mid-sized catering business that serves corporate events tells its service staff before every event only the logistics, arrival time, number of covers, menu, service sequence. The staff show up, do the work, and leave. The owner decides to try something different. Before a large event for a non-profit organization supporting underprivileged children, she gathers the service team and spends 5 minutes explaining who the guests are, what the organization does, and why this event matters to the people being served. She tells them that this meal is part of a fundraiser that will fund 200 children's education for a year. The service that day is described by the client as the best they have ever experienced from any catering company. The team stayed 30 minutes beyond their scheduled time without being asked. 3 of them asked the owner for the non-profit's details because they wanted to volunteer. Nothing changed in the menu, the logistics, or the pay. The only thing that changed was that the team understood why the work mattered that day. How to bring purpose into daily leadership. Start every week by connecting the team's work to something bigger than the shift, not in a theatrical way, just honestly and specifically. Tell them about a guest who came back because of their service last week and what that means for the business. Share a piece of feedback from a regular that shows their work is noticed and valued. Talk about what the outlet's growth means for the team's own futures. Purpose does not have to be grand, it just has to be real. The problem with rewards. The author dedicates a significant part of the book to explaining why external rewards, particularly monetary ones, can actually damage intrinsic motivation. This is called the over-justification effect, and it is one of the most important and most ignored findings in all of behavioral science. Here is what it means in plain language. When you start paying someone to do something they were already doing because they enjoyed it or found it meaningful, you shift the reason for doing it from internal to external. And once the reward is removed or reduced, their motivation drops below where it was before you introduced the reward. Indian example. A talented senior cook in a hotel kitchen has always taken pride in her mise en place. Her station is the cleanest, her prep is the most precise, and she mentors junior cooks without being asked. It is just how she works. Her standards are intrinsic. The executive chef, wanting to formalize this, introduces a monthly Best Station Award with a small cash prize. For the first 2 months, everyone's station improves. By month 4, the senior cook's attitude has subtly shifted. She starts asking whether the award criteria have changed. She gets visibly disappointed when someone else wins. The intrinsic pride she once took in her work has been quietly replaced by a competition for an external prize. Something was lost in the formalization. This does not mean rewards are always wrong. The author is nuanced here. For routine, predictable tasks, rewards work fine. But for creative, meaningful, skill-based work, the best motivation is never a reward. It is autonomy, mastery, and purpose. How to start using this book this week? First, have one autonomy conversation this week. Sit with one team member and ask, is there any part of your work where you feel you have no say in how it gets done, but you think you could do it better if you had more freedom? Listen. Then give them one real area of ownership, not a token gesture, actual authority over something that matters. Second, find one person who is under-challenged, someone who is clearly capable of more than they are currently being asked to do. Give them a stretch assignment this week, something slightly beyond their current comfort zone. Brief them clearly on the outcome expected, give them the support they need, and then step back and let them figure out the how. Third, start your next team briefing with a purpose moment. Before you talk about targets or tasks, Spend 2 minutes telling your team one story of why what they do matters. A guest who was having a terrible day and left smiling. A team member whose growth has been noticed. A result that made a real difference. 2 minutes, every briefing. Watch what it does to the room over 30 days. Who should read this? Pick up drive if you lead a team and feel like you are always pushing people, rather than people pulling themselves. If your incentive schemes are not producing the results you expected, and you do not know why, if you have talented people who are quietly disengaged and you cannot figure out what has gone wrong, if you want to build a culture where people genuinely want to do great work, rather than just completing tasks to avoid consequences. And if you have ever felt that there must be a better way to lead than the one you inherited. My quick rating for books I read. Practical tools, 4 out of 5. This is more of a mindset shift than a step-by-step manual. But the 3 elements of autonomy, mastery, and purpose give you a clear lens through which to look at every leadership decision you make. Storytelling and examples, 5 out of 5. Daniel Pink is a brilliant writer. He makes decades of behavioral science research feel like a conversation, never like a textbook. India relevance, 5 out of 5. In a country where management culture is still heavily reward and punishment based, this book is not just useful. For any leader who wants to build something that lasts, it is essential. Reread value, 5 out of 5. Revisit this every time you are designing a new incentive structure, every time a talented person on your team seems disengaged, and every time you find yourself relying on pressure instead of purpose to get results. If this episode of Books I Read on Drive helped you, do like, share, and subscribe, and send it to one leader in your life who you feel is working incredibly hard to motivate their team and still not getting the results they deserve. This book will show them why and exactly what to try instead. Tell me in the comments, which of the 3 elements do you think your team is most missing right now? Autonomy, mastery, or purpose? And what is one thing you can do this week to change that? I want to know. Drop your book recommendations in the comments too, especially anything around leadership, motivation, building strong teams, and the business of food.